Welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I'll be covering every studio song the band has recorded and every bonus track that I can find. Each week we'll go over a new song from the beginning to where they are currently, and as they keep adding albums, I'll keep adding shows. Let the deep dive party begin.
In the magic garden, some were singing, some were dancing.
Hello and welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I am your host, Scott Haskin, and I've got a really interesting song for you guys today. We are talking about the song Love Stealer, and this was a song that was recorded by a band called Hello in 1975, written by Richard Myhill and Phil Wainman. And this is obviously a cover song that Uriah Heep did. And on a bit of a sad or sort of, bittersweet note, I guess, this recording is the last recording done in the studio to feature Ken Hensley. So spoiler alert, obviously we're in for another lineup change come Abominog, but we'll get to that next season. Right now, we're going to dig into this song. Here is Love Stealer by Uriah Heep by Hello. Well, this is a really different sound for Heep. I mean, that guitar is just so bottom end and heavy and rich sounding. I really like it. And I love what the way that Mick is playing. Obviously, he didn't write this part, but love the feel of it for sure. And it's really nice, too, to hear a little something different on the keyboards, because instead of chords that we would hear over this, Ken is almost playing a style called rhythm organ as opposed to rhythm guitar. And it sounds actually really good on this. I really like it. Drums and bass are nice and solid, and it's a pretty interesting start. I can see how they felt it would fit in with this album and why they would have recorded it, though.
She's got to rely on you, there's nowhere to hide. She keeps some motives hidden down inside. She shows no mercy, no, she plays it rough. She don't want your money, she just wants your love.
I think the vocals are just a little bit buried, but part of that is because we're hearing a much more low-end version of Uriah Heep. I don't mean that in the terms of quality. I mean that in the terms of EQ. We're hearing a lot more bottom end. We've got a heavy bass doing some really nice dynamics in there. Love what Trevor's doing. But we've also got a lower-end guitar, and John is singing a little bit lower than we're used to hearing him sing. So it's all kind of blending in because most of the sound is being pushed to that low end on the EQ. It sounds good. I like the feel of it. It's definitely an intriguing song. And, the more that we're hearing of it, the more I'm like, yeah, I could see this being something that Heep would have wanted to do. Now, I am not at all familiar with the original song. I've never heard it. I haven't looked it up yet because I want, fresh reaction. But I would say that either Heep really made that last section their own, like they put their twist on it, or they had to have chosen the song because it had a passage like that would really fit them. Either way, it sounds really good. I love the backing vocals, and I love how they blend with what John's doing. Very powerful. Some really good drum fills. They've done a really good recording here.
She walks in the shadows as she waits for the night. She gets what she's looking for. She goes out and fights. If you see her coming, then you better know. If your love's for the taking, she'll steal the show.
have to say, it's really nice hearing John Sloman sing in this register. I think he's got a lot of skill here. I think when he's not trying to be, too dynamic, I think he sounds really good in this voice. Definitely something he could use a combination of if he wanted to, and maybe he does down the line. I'm not sure. We'll find out as time goes on. But I really like the way that his voice sits in this song. Also, Trevor Boulder is killing it on this song. He's playing some really cool stuff, lots of great bass dynamics. Mick is just playing rock solid. It's really a great band effort. You can almost feel like they were looking at each other, smiling, and just having fun recording this song. Wow, that was a really interesting part. I was kind of expecting that we were gearing up for a guitar solo the way the part started, and then when the synth comes in, I was a little bit surprised. I like it. It's a little out of place when you just bring in a synthesizer for a solo if you haven't had at least a couple of inflections of it here and there where you can kind of set up the solo for that instrument. But the solo itself is very good. In fact, I don't know about you guys. This could just be my crazy brain, which I take no responsibility for. But I kind of feel like there was a little bit that reminded me of July Morning in that, and which is ironic because Ken didn't play the solo on July Morning, but it definitely sounded like that to me, or at least reminiscent of it. But overall, I liked it. I thought it was a very powerful solo, great ending to it. But I do think that the volume was a little bit loud. I think it kind of overshadowed a little bit of the song just too much. I mean, you want your solo to be the focus, but you don't want it to be drowning everything else out. It should be nicely blended. And I feel that was just a little bit too loud. If they'd have turned it down a couple of dB, I think that would have been probably a little bit better for my ears. But that's just what my ears hear and the way that my brain, that I take no responsibility for, interprets it.
Just hang around at first, facing the joint. Then she'll move in and get right to the point. So keep your love locked away, don't let it show. All the love stealer will rock you for more than you know. Love stealer.
I really dig that last verse. The combination of the two different vocal styles really, really works for me. And then it just makes the choral section that much better when the backing singers come in. And I don't know, I just think that's a better lead in. But I really would like to hear John utilize that a little bit more. I think that's really cool. Again, maybe just doing that because that's how the original sounded. I don't know. But I really like the sound of it for Heep. I think it would fit their music very well. And it's just a different, fresh aspect to listen to. But I really like the way that goes into the chorus there. And I'm curious to see what else happens. Well, that was kind of a fast fade, I think, but if it was designed to be released as a single, then that would kind of make sense. It's a pretty short song, 3 minutes and 28 seconds, which actually for radio is a little bit long. They usually like to keep it around 2.5 to 3 minutes back in those days, but either way, it certainly works. I think it's a really good song. I think vocally it's very strong. I think musically it's strong. I love the sound that Mick got on this. I love what Ken's playing in accompaniment. I think it had a great solo. Trevor Boulder just kills it on this song. And of course, Chris Slade is really solid on drums, playing some great fills. Nothing too grandiose that made it stand, apart from the song. I think everything he played was very tasteful. So great song. I'm going to have to go see if I can find the original song by Hello and see how different it was. But yeah, good one. I enjoyed this. So thank you guys. I know it's a little shorter of an episode today, but thank you guys for joining me for another episode of the show. We will be back tomorrow to round out the week. Take care, guys. Cheers. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. If you have enjoyed this show, please consider going over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast outlet, leaving a rating or a review. Be sure to subscribe to make sure that you are notified when new episodes are available. Please be sure to share this podcast with your fellow Uriah Heep enthusiasts and anyone who you think would like Uriah Heep, which should be everyone. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to contribute to the Patreon account. And if you are not a Patreon subscriber, you can also pay through the PayPal link on the website listed in the show links below. I would also like to thank Uriah Heep for their very generous support of the show, and thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Happy days!